This water-cooled Dell Optiplex has been the most fun I've ever had building a computer. It was a major learning experience. I got to learn how to bend hard tube, and I did custom stuff like that power supply and the radiator and all that. So it was a really fun experience. I got a lot of positive comments on this. I did get a couple people pointing out the fact that the graphics card doesn't have a backplate, and for some reason when I was building it, that big piece of blue PCB just didn't bug me that much. But I mean, as soon as a couple people pointed it out, it did become an eyesore. And so today I'm gonna make a backplate, and one of the people that commented said I should make it out of plexiglass. So let's see, instead of doing the plexiglass, I think I'm going to use the top of the 780 mini tower that I have. I've been slowly taking parts off of that case also for projects, and I just think that this plastic, I mean, it's already black. I just don't want to have to paint this or put vinyl on it. So starting out with a piece of black plastic is going to be a lot easier, and I think I'm going to be able to modify this one to make it look a little more interesting than if it was just a flat piece of plexiglass. Obviously, I'm going to be doing this backplate with the card installed. I'm not about to drain the loop and disconnect the water block and all that stuff just to put a backplate on. So I'm just going to be opening up the case. I'm going to take out this squirrel fan and measure the PCB and cut a piece. This little PCI ventilation fan that I have in here is actually kind of a pain to remove. This whole entire riser card is supposed to pull out of here, and then you're able to use the little, see this little blue clip thing that folds in and out to secure the card in place. And you really can't open it up unless the card is removed, or the riser I should say. It can open up a little bit, but not much. And so basically I had to, when I installed this, I just kind of had to wedge it in there really hard and get it to kind of pop into place. It's kind of stuck a little bit in there, but it shouldn't be too hard, I suppose. But that's what we're going to do right now, is try to wiggle that thing out of there. I don't want to freaking bump the water pipes too much on this graphics card and spring a freaking leak. Ah, there it goes. Whew. That was a pain. And I kind of fucked up the bracket a little bit, but oh well. Alright, now let's take some measurements on that back plate. My trusty little tape measure. 4 inches will make it a little long, so we'll probably do it just short of 4 inches at like 3 7/8 and 6 7/8. So here's my piece. Like I said, I kind of like this little lip right here. That might look kind of cool, like at the leading edge of the graphics card. So I would just like chop out a rectangle like this and then leave this little lip right here. I'm gonna cut out 2 of them and see which one I like best. Alright. There's our second piece. So we'll have 1 GPU cover and 2. I got a feeling I'm going to use this one though. I kind of like that little lip. It's not a given. We'll see what it looks like, but oops. Kind of leaning towards that right now. Now we're going to get the jigsaw out and do some preliminary cuts. I put a little packing tape on the areas that I don't want to get scratched up. Alright, we got 2 pieces now. I'll clean up the edge, take off all these little spines on the back. So we're back at the PC now with our 2 pieces. I haven't trimmed them up or anything. They still got this crap on the back side and they're still kind of rough along the edge. But I just want to lay it in here and see exactly how it looks and what we're looking at here. That's kind of interesting with that lip on there. I'm not sure if I like it. It'll sit a little bit lower once we get all this stuff off of there. Now let's just try the flat piece. Ooh. I actually think I like that better than the one with the little lip on there. But that's why we did 2 pieces. You know, might as well see which one we like the best. And I actually like this texture. It doesn't look bad in there at all. It looks kind of like a real backplate. All right, here's the piece we're gonna go with. As you can see, it's like a little bit crooked on the edges and stuff, but we're gonna take care of that. But the first thing we need to do is flatten all this crap out. Grinded all that plastic off. Now we're just gonna get the sandpaper out and sand this up. Sand the edges, try to get everything nice and flat and straight. It's kind of done. I'm going to wash it off and see how it looks on the graphics card. It looks a little bit off, like this edge kind of tapers up a tiny bit. You know what I'll do is I'll just see how it's like sticking out right here and it's not down here. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of pencil along that edge and either cut it or grind it or sand it smooth, or so it's a nice flat area. But before I start sanding on this thing again and try to straighten up the edges a little bit, let's go ahead and set it on there and see what it looks like. Ooh, that looks pretty darn nice. This edge does need to be cleaned up a little bit. See how like right here it's nice and flush with the card, and then over here it kind of tapers out and hangs over the hair. So let's trim up that area and then we'll measure where we need to cut out the square for the graphics chip. See that little line? That's pretty much what I have to take off. And I think I'm going to bring out the Dremel again and kind of grind that away, and then we'll sand it smooth. This thing looks. So we did a little minor adjustment to that edge. I sanded it up a little bit more on the edges and it's looking pretty nice and straight now. See along that line? It's nice and straight now. Once I get those pads on there, I'll make sure that corner is kind of up a little bit so it's nice and even. Alright, we're pretty much done, except for that square for the chip. Let's go ahead and do some measurements and make that cut. And again, this doesn't have to be completely perfect. I'm just trying to get a nice little square shaped right there so we can ventilate the chip. That's pretty much our area that we want to cut out. So let's go ahead and drill this. They're pretty lined up. I'm happy with them. And instead of trying to get my my jigsaw in there, I'm going to use my Dremel. We're just about ready to put this back plate on. I wound up making it a little bit longer on this side by probably close to, I don't know, an 1/8 inch or so. Now the chip is nice and exposed. Before it seemed like it was a little short on this back end. I also put a little strip of carbon fiber on here just to kind of hide that white a little bit. So I'm not going to use my heavy duty 3M double-sided tape. I think I'm just going to use this cheaper double-sided tape. It's not as strong, it's not as likely to me have to pry that thing off in the future if I actually need to take it off for some reason. Backplate is on. Feels like it's on there pretty good. Sweet. Looks pretty nice. Edge is nice and straight. The graphics chip is exposed adequately. Alright. Alright, let's put that little fan in and be done with this project. Whew. We're done. One last shot with the cover on and the lights on. There is the back plate. I like it. I should have done it in the first place. Now that I see it with a back plate on there, it really reminds me how ugly that blue PCB was.